Thank you for being here. It's appreciated. If you're here, it's because of one, three reasons. Either you're curious, you're lost, or you got duped into it because somebody shared. Either way, no matter what, it's appreciated. Got my cat and dog here. I'll get sort of quick to the point at the beginning, because this video is going to be unedited, and I know that people don't want to sit through the whole thing. Majority of people won't anyway. But before I do, I've been dealing with sickness, more of a respiratory thing, so if I do the occasional coughing or if I sound weird, you'll understand why. The second thing is the reason I'm not doing editing is because I have neither the time nor skill nor the time to do the skill. This is what I do for a living. I play with logs. I've done a ton of stuff in my life though, but I'm more of a practical hands-on type. So here I am. Now, the purpose of the video is to tell you in more detail what my dream is. My dream is to build a real-life anime city. What do I mean by real-life anime city? Because some people get confused and a lot of questions pop up. Well, I'm not talking about a theme park. I'm talking about an actual city with residences, utilities, businesses, all that stuff. But fashioned after anime we've come to love and enjoy. There's a lot of things that go into it, and I can't do it all in this video, or else it'd take a long time. But essentially, what it amounts to is I can't do it all myself. One person can't do everything, because this kind of thing takes a community to a certain degree, sometimes literally. So, got a few notes jotted down. Hate taking notes. Ever have since 6th grade, but got to tough it out for this one. After all, dreams aren't worth having if they're easy. So, now that I'm done with the intro, and bear in mind, I am very much an introvert. It's extremely difficult for me to be out here doing videos and talking to you guys. So, a little bit of understanding. Now, one of the questions that might pop up is, why am I trying to contact Mr. Beast so much? Well, honestly, I've tried contacting different people. Haven't gotten anything because I'm not exactly a professional social media person. But Mr. Beast, on the other hand, seems more sociable, so to speak. Like, he's willing to at least listen, might be willing to listen to what I have to say. And he has the resources that I do not. So I can use him, so to speak, as a launching platform. I'm not even asking for his money per se. More time and resources, which do equate to money, I understand. I've been doing... Anyways, I'm even willing to do a challenge if he wants. No problem. But what am I trying to get from him? I need a non-profit started. I'm trying to get a non-profit started for the real life anime city that I'm trying to do. And I'll go into a little more detail as far as the city ideas later. But why a non-profit? Well, a non-profit will allow me to access vast amounts of more amounts of resources. There's also allow me to how do I put it? To acquire finances from other places, multiple different places, not just citizens and corporations. You get my meaning. But let's see, the next thing on here is the positions. What am I going to do with the nonprofit? That kind of thing, right? Okay, so what if we do get the nonprofit started? What then? Well, I gotta have a board of members. So I figured, why not go with something that we anime fans would be familiar with. Straw Hat Crew. Only, keep in mind, I do understand their anime, but I'm going to tailor them to real life. And I'll explain. I'm going to go in order according to Straw Hat members and just give a quick explanation of things. And I'm going to try and go in order, so spoilers, potential spoilers. Luffy, he's going to be the social media guy. Think somebody that is similar to Mr. Beast. He's the one that's out having fun and helping people and doing the social media side of things, bringing in more advertising, public opinion, that kind of thing. Next would be Zoro, the second in command, and the swordsman. How am I going to incorporate that? They're going to be, when the time comes, they're going to be the security and police officers, police force type. So some police or military background would be nice. Next isn't going to be the one that you think it's going to be, because that person didn't join until the Arlong part. But next would be Usopp, the sniper. Well, we don't need a sniper, so how am I going to incorporate that into real life? Well, he's the tinkerer of the group too. So he's going to be the tech guy in real life. Next, he's going to be the one dealing with computers and editing and basically anything that involves tech. Next one, officially, would be Sanji. Sanji the chef. At a certain point, we're going to have catering. We're going to have a bunch of food stuff because people have to eat, right? Well, they're going to be the ones responsible for that and general help when they're not doing the food part of it. They're also going to be in charge of ordering things like equipment for catering and such. Next in line would be Nami, the navigator / cat burglar. Well, how am I going to incorporate her? She's going to be the businesswoman. After all, everybody needs some berries. That's One Piece world currency. She's going to be the one going to the different corporations and trying to acquire their assistance and or just simple help, like mental or moral support type of thing. See, next would be a lot of people's top of the list favorite Straw Hat, Tony Chopper. He's the medic. Obviously, all throughout history, there's been need of first aid and medics and such. But when they're not doing that, they'll be doing general help. And there's an overall term for general help, and that's when people need help doing something to help. Next in line would be a lot of people's waifu, including mine, Robin. How am I going to incorporate an archaeologist into the mix? We don't really need an archaeologist per se, but what we do need is a lawyer. After all, reading legalese is basically the same thing as reading the poneglyphs, right? So she's going to be the lawyer woman, the one making sure everything's legit and up to par, as well as being the secretary and making sure all the paperwork part of things are in order. Now, and the next would be Super Frankie, the shipwright. What's going to be his position? Well, he's going to be the engineer, he's going to be awfully busy, to be honest. And I'm going to be hand in hand working a long time with him too. But essentially, Frankie's going to be the engineer of the group, the one that's doing the blueprints and a lot of construction and so on and so forth. Obviously, General Help's going to be helping out with Frankie quite a bit. Next one in the crew would be his name. I know. Oh, his name is Brooke. Yo-ho-ho-ho! I can do his voice better, but you get the idea. He's a musician of the group. He'll be working closely with Usopp and Luffy. I would like to have somebody that has a love of a broad spectrum of music, because I just believe that people should have a balance in their lives, and especially if they're going to be role models like we're hoping to be. Which comes to the last position is our favorite fish, our favorite shark. Come on, seriously, my brain just went Jinbei, the helmsman of the crew. Now, that position is going to essentially be filled by me. How, you may ask? Well, the helmsman's the one that steers the ship. And considering I'm the one that originally came up with the idea and I'm trying to get things rolling, I'm going to have a hand in a lot of stuff, even with helping with a lot of people's things. I'm going to be the older guy, because I'm pushing 40, who's going to be giving bits of wisdom and advice and helping out with a lot of stuff. Plus, there's a lot of things that I'm sort of closely associated with Jinbei. For example, our love of martial arts. I haven't done that in years. But our love of martial arts and a lot of things, trust me. I could go into a whole video on that, but that's essentially the role I would be filling. Now, what are we going to do when we get this crew done? The beginning phase. The beginning phase is this. Luffy, Usopp, and Brooke. I'm using their character names. They're going to be working together to get social media aspect rolling. Getting all this stuff out there, because obviously I'm not charismatic. But, I'm more of a behind the scenes kind of guy. Which is why I'm going to be working with Frankie, as is the general help when they get here. Like, say, Sanji or the medic, Tony Chopper, Zoro, etc. The general help's going to be doing the overall, just helping out. Let's see. Oh, businesswoman Nami and Robin are going to be sort of working closely together. Robin's going to be working closely with a lot of people similar to me, but they're going to be working together to go to the anime corporations and people like Elon Musk, which is a target of mine, because I'm wanting to do more of an updated city. I don't want it to be trash. I'm more of a quality over quantity type of guy. Anyway, and Usopp's going to be working heavily on a website for the city that I have, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But these are going to be the beginning phases. Once things start rolling, then we'll actually be looking for, say, property and contacting construction companies and such to get things sort of going. And I'm wanting to start things off as a sort of wildfire, because I do wildland firefighting, as does my stepdad, as well as sawmilling. I'm sort of wanting to start things off sort of wildland firefighting camp style until we're able to get utilities and such in there and buildings for the workers to live in. But you can sort of get a little bit of an idea of where I'm going there. The website is going to be extremely complicated. You see, it's something that I don't think Squarespace can handle. It's going to end up having things like not just a social system, because this is going to be dedicated strictly to the city, but they're also going to be it's also meant to keep track of analytics. There's going to be news. There's also going to be certain kinds of voting systems, not for politicians, but for other stuff to the side, city stuff. There's going to be engineering software that's got to be put in there, and quality ones too, because you can't just have a blanket crappy engineering system in there. Why do I need all these things? Well, engineering software is so that before people move to the city, they'll be able to build their homes before they get there. Essentially, they pay for the services and do all the designing and stuff online, and the people that are already there, workers, they'll build their house for them before they get there. That's just a basic idea anyways of what I'm thinking of. The voting system I mentioned, that's going to be for things like city expansion, possible policies or news that may or may not occur. There's a wind. It's pretty windy right now, so. Shit. Sawdust. Anyways, I want to do this outside because all the other videos were inside. But the analytics for the system is keeping track of important jobs like teachers, police officers, firefighters, etc. So that way we know when the population is starting to get overcrowded. So we know when we need to start expanding the city. Well, what does that necessarily entail? Well, that also entails the voting system, because we're going to have different districts for different anime, which comes to the city design in a little bit. And we'll need to find out what kind of anime people want to have the city designed after, and so on, so that citizens have more input and that kind of stuff. Let's see. What else we got here? Beginning phase. I got the website. Positions. The design of the city. Back. Don't touch. Dog's getting near the camera. Now, if you're still here, it's appreciated. Thank you very much. I got sort of a D&D style design city. It's pretty simple visually, but it'll at least get you the idea of what I'm going for. Let's see, I need this. And my quote-unquote pointer. Basic city design. In the center, the red part, that's things like schools, courthouses, post offices, more the federal style stuff with a little park in the center. These here are highways, 4 lanes for vehicles, a lane, 1 lane for maybe 2 for things like bikes, skateboards, whatever, wheeled things that aren't vehicles. The next would be sidewalks. The dark blue here, that's more the touristy, popular businesses, that kind of stuff. Light blue right there and here, those are local businesses, and this isn't sized to scale. This is just a basic general thing. The green is residential. Out here is the more modern-y style residential. Inside is the more I want to say not incorporated, but it's more designed after the anime. These purple things here, those are train tracks. I want to get some some trolleys going. Now, as you'll see, hexagons are the best of gons, right? The reason I went with this rather than a grid, because originally it was a grid, was semi-trucks and people pulling trailers. If you notice, there's not very many 90-degree turns, except for if you're turning this way. But if you're turning on these other spots, it's not really 90-degree turns. That helps a lot. Also, when looking at this, you could see, say, each one is a different anime district. Like, say, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, and Dragon Ball Z, for example. And these yellow spots here, that's more for like utilities and miscellaneous stuff. Now you're probably going to want a closer look, right? A little bit of a closer look. There's the federal stuff with the little park in the center. There's the corporate and tourist areas, local businesses, residences, trolley systems. But you'll see as we get closer, or should I say as we zoom in a little bit more, this one here shows an example of the expansion, how it can cleanly be expanded. But one thing you'll notice as we sort of get closer is that I had a little bit of a change in ideas. Where is that one? Ah, here it is. As you can see here, I have the residences going in a row, and then some of the other ideas, just to give you an idea. But I saw a video on YouTube that had me evolve the idea a little bit more. Instead of going in a row, I went in a U shape. These shaded areas are like little public parks or community parks type of deals, whereas these squares are residences. And then these here are garages. Those become apparent in a later thing. But as you could see, I had to evolve it because the video I saw on here made a lot of sense. It creates more of a community feel. Whereas these here are like an acre per resident. And then you have like a community get-together thing in the center of it all. I'll show you a closer up, a more organized map of it, if you will. There we go. Something like this. This is that park I was talking about. Grass. This would be like a little community garden, basketball court, playground. You know, just basic idea. These would be houses. These are storage sheds. So 2 triangles filled in, house. 1 triangle not filled in, storage shed. Got grass, etc. The roads I was talking about, the 4 lanes for vehicles, the one or 2 for wheeled vehicles, or I mean human wheeled things, and sidewalk. Storage shed, or not storage sheds, but garages right here, right? The reason for those other garages would be because of this. The more involved incorporated side. This is sort of that that same thing as I had going on with those other residential areas. Same thing going on right here. I have one that shows, oh, there it is. That's the one I was looking for. More zoomed in picture of it. Oh, come on. With the wind. More of a zoomed in picture of those residential areas on the inside. And this here would be a walkway. Or I'm actually thinking of doing the elevator, those elevator walk things, which is what we got going right here. This is the trolley system. Meeting in the station. Got the trolley system. This would be the covered walkway they use in like airports. It's covered to keep people out of the weather, so that people that don't, because this area isn't, as of right now, doesn't allowed to have vehicles. It's a walk area. So this would be the covered walkway like they have in airports. A trolley system. Outside is extra large for the wheeled things like bikes and rickshaws or whatever, you know, insert skateboards or whatever here. And this would be just a regular sidewalk with little park areas to stop at or such. But that's a basic idea of the main incorporated area. Obviously I might have to make some tweaks, such as one thing that's been bugging me is I can't remember the name of the mountain in Naruto, but the stone faces, that I might have to change something slightly to the map to incorporate things like that. I also have ideas, since I showed you the map. We're starting to get towards the end of the video here, but some ideas I have for the map. One of those things is having sort of a monthly celebration for the different anime. Like each month gets its own anime celebration or something. And if there's a district for that anime, like say we go with Naruto, for example, if there's a district for Naruto, then they get to throw a big celebration, if you know, to show that they're the best. The city's meant as sort of a how do I put it, camaraderie, if you will. That's sort of what the city's meant. After all, the launching idea, and this is sort of a philosophical standpoint, is that before things like TV and the internet, a lot of people's ideas and beliefs were more localized. The access to information wasn't so fast. Well, once the TV was introduced, and especially the internet, people's idea of things became so extreme in such a small amount of area that it became very friction based. That's why there's a lot of turmoil going on. I'm not a fan of politicians either. They just end up messing stuff up. And it's not just as basic and simple as that either. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm bringing a community of people with similar ideas and similar likes together so that we can create our own community. Yeah, there's going to be some sort of friction there, because not all of us anime fans have the same opinion and get along and such. But if things are done right and done strategic, it can be extremely successful. The key there is done right and strategic. You can't just throw things at the wall and hope that it sticks. Quality over quantity, remember that. My motto is, if I don't do it, who will? Politicians? You really want politicians to do this stuff? No, we have to show as a community that we can do things. We don't have to rely on the government. It's a big thing. is being a community, someplace that's not online that we can go to have fun and enjoy. You'd be surprised at how much inspiration and life things can be learned from anime. A lot of father figures don't exist anymore, and especially role models. Proper role models don't really exist anymore. So what I'm trying to do is create something for people to have role models and father figures and such. After all, my favorite One Piece character of all time is Pops, Whitebeard, Edward Newgate. If you know, you know. I see him as being a very, very important father figure. And that's one thing I haven't had a lot in my life as a father figure. So I want to be one for people. But I got to be very careful and strategic about how I go doing it. Unfortunately, I'm not professional. I'm hands-on. So I got to lean on people that know skills that I don't. Just like Luffy did. Just like they do in Naruto and many of other things. Matter of fact, one thing I've learned in watching a lot of anime is when you break it down to its core, a lot of anime is the 3 F's. Family, friends, and fun. But anyways, if you guys, I hope, I'm going to do the outro, just so, because it's already been almost 32 minutes now. But if you want to contact me, you can either leave a comment below, or I have X under the same name, Rabbit Stuff, and I have a Discord, but I haven't been able to figure out how to get that link to stick so that people can click on it. So my Discord is Laughtell. It's invite only, I do believe, so far. I want to make sure things are properly going first before it opens publicly, because again, don't have the editing skills or the dev skills to put it. But you can contact me on X or leave a comment in the comments below. I ask above all else that if you've made it this far, you share the video. The more people that see it, the better. Because if I'm crazy, I'm crazy. If I'm a diamond in the rough, I'm a diamond in the rough. You never know. But not until I talk to people. So, well, certain people. I ask that you guys share with, like, Mr. Beast. Hopefully he can get a hold of me, or Elon Musk, or who knows how many, people. But I appreciate the fact that you guys have managed to stick this far with me. Give you a nice little view. This is the kind of view I get. But let me know what you guys think. It's appreciated. And as always, I hope you have a good day.